we're back. Another one. Okay, another BTS shoot. Okay, so these photos, they popped off on my IG. I also got some video footage. People love these. But again, I'm bringing back my friend Brittany. She's one of my best friends. This is actually my first shoot ever with Brittany. Okay, I randomly saw some photos of her on her page, and I was like, she looks like she can model. I don't know. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Man, let me reach out. Let me see what she got to say. And she did her thing. This is our first shoot, and trust me, I got more shoots with her. They're even better and better and better. So for this shoot here, we were actually going for a mixture of, you know, fitness, athleisure kind of look, but we were also going for more of a moody look. So we wanted moody, but also athleisure at the same time. So in this one, I wanted to try some different lighting modifiers. So now that you know that, let's go through the setup. Number one, we're using the Sony A7CR for our main camera. With the 35mm G Master. Of course, you know, it's the same setup. I'm using the Sony A7IV, but I'm also using that 50mm G Master. I'm switching also between the 24-70 Sigma, the V1, and then also when it comes to lighting, same things, man. You know, the AMARAN 300C and the AMARAN 150C. Now there is a wild card light in here, and that is the small rig RC 120B, and that is the OG version, the very first one. I'm actually using one right now, and of course they have way better, newer lights now that have come out with a way better design. But the reason why I use that light is because I was using my different modifier. Instead of using the VSA 26K, I'm actually using the Godox SA17, and that is the main thing I wanted to cover in this video, is because obviously the VSA 26K is a little bit of took me a while to buy because it ain't cheap. But this SA17 is a much more affordable modifier when you're looking for an optical snoot or spotlight. The other modifier I used was a Fresnel. This is I think a $47 Fresnel that I got on Amazon, but I love this thing. I actually take this thing with me all the time. And for this shoot specifically, I just, you know, it's already in the case, and I was like, you know what, let's give it a try. And the reason why is I wanted a really nice glow when it came to my rim light, my hair light, because of course using a softbox is going to be very soft, but I really wanted a really nice glow, and that's what we got when we're using something like a Fresnel. So setup one, we have this athleisure look, we have the first fit, and we have the first lighting setup. The first lighting setup is extremely simple. Again, I asked that question to every model, what's your favorite size? So from there, that's where I put the key light. So we have the AMARAN 300C, we have it on camera right to her left, and I have it with a softbox. The softbox is just a 36-inch softbox. I'm pretty sure it's the Nanlite softbox, and because we want to keep it dramatic, I am going to use the grid. And light two is the AMARAN 150C, and I attach that Fresnel. So once you see the photos, you can see that Fresnel working. It's giving her a nice kick, and it's not harsh. That's the thing about using a Fresnel. I'm trying to get between, you know, a soft light and a harsh light. I'm trying to get right in between and still have that roll off that I want, but I still want the brightness, the harshness. I want that kick, you know, so we can get that nice separation and that nice hit on the skin. And then from there, we just did poses. Again, this is me and Brittany's first time working together in this, and you know, we're just trying to fill it out. I'm trying to fill out what her poses are. I highly recommend when you're first working with a model, just try to fill it out. Literally, it's like a boxing match. You're just filling out, seeing what the moves are and everything, and you're trying to figure out what are their, you know, what poses do they look the best in, and now we're gonna lean on that. Again, I'm switching between the Sony A7CR with the 35mm and of course the A7IV with the 50mm. Setup two, we bring in the SA17. So it's gonna be the SA17 attached to the small rig RC 120B. Instead of using the VSA 26K, we use the SA17. And the reason why we use the SA17 is I wanted a smaller modifier just so that we can kind of move things around, but I wanted a bigger spread. And to be honest with you, the VSA 26K doesn't have the same spread as the 36K. I have that now. But at the time, I needed something that can give me a larger source of light, and that was the Godox SA17. Now the trick is the Godox SA17, it is a smaller spotlight, so it can't fit on the AMARANs because the AMARANs protrude, okay? They come out like pause, which means it can't attach to those AMARAN lights. So that's where the small rig RC 120B comes in. I'm actually using one to light me right now. And it doesn't protrude, it fits flush against the chassis of the light. meaning I can just attach the SA17 on there with no issue. From there, I use the Go Bow, the window Go Bow, and to think about it, we just turn it a little bit so we can get that window shape, just boom, right on there, and we put it directly on Brittany. What I started to notice is that even though we had this big source of light that was pretty bright, I was still having a little bit of shadow here, and I didn't want to not see Brittany, even though, you know, Brittany's pretty light skinned. But I was still like, yo, we need a little bit of fill. So I took that softbox that I was already using from the AMARAN 300C and I just slid it over, okay, on her shadow side. And I made sure that, okay, boom, we got a nice little fill here. The key here is to make sure that your AMARAN, this AMARAN did not overpower my Go Bow, my modifier, my spotlight setup. Because again, the RC120B is not as powerful as the 300C, okay, from the AMARAN, okay? So we want to make sure it's balanced out. That is the key here. So we just wanted a little bit of a kicker, a little bit of feel to make sure that we could see Brittany in frame. Setup 3. Same setup. We go right back to setup 1. We use the softbox with the AMARAN 300C, and we also use the AMARAN 150C with the Fresnel. The only difference here is I just kind of moved the light around a little bit more because I wanted to be a little bit more dramatic because now she's in an all black fit. And again, 45 degrees, you know, pretty much that Rembrandt style, you know how to do it. And then that Fresnel is giving her a nice kick, not only on, you know, her body, but her hair. So now her hair is just glowing from the background. And that's the goal. It's a pretty simple setup. I think a lot of times people think that a lot of lighting setups have to be complicated, but a lot of times they don't. It can be 2 lights. Sometimes you can be even 3 lights and it's not complicated. Sometimes you can take 1 light. Just having a good light source and placing it in a right place can change, you know, the look of your photo, and it can take it up a notch, like a lot of notches actually. So setup 4, we take that Godox SA17, that is the modifier once again, and we're going to be using that small rig RC120B, and again, I'm going to have it down in a link down below, but the difference is now I got to get this light high enough, okay? We got to get it up high, and because it's so dark, you're not going to see the BTS, you're not going to see any BTS, I do apologize, but it's so high up that I had to use a sandbag. So I took a C-stand, okay, and I took a sandbag. From there, we raise that up. We have a 15-pound sandbag from Impact, and what we do is we raise that light up and we use a boom arm. With that boom arm and that light, that combination, guess what? Now I'm able to kind of, you know, hover that light really high, just like this boom. I have a boom arm up here, but we're able to hover that light above her and we're able to point the light down. And then from there, we just have Brittany seated. She's giving me all these different poses. Again, I got some video with the A7CR too, just so I can see what it looks like. The only thing I wish I would have done just to take it over the top, I wish I would have added, you know, a kicker, just a little hair light, either on the left or the right. It would have been, oh, probably the left. I like her left, camera right. I think it would have looked really, really nice. But either way, that is the 4 setups that we had, the 4 looks that we created. I love the looks. Let me know what you think about the looks. Let me know. You're gonna see a lot of Brittany. Me and Brittany have shot so many times over, you know, from that time all the way up to now. We've shot so many times, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some of the photos we've done. And I promise you, we've gotten better and better and better, but more to come, okay? So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. I love y'all.